400 cameras.
Well, whatever. I've made
I've made
videos
videos
about
about
this.
this. I don't really give a shit.
Well, I
It's
don't
my
give a shit.
dude.
You can fuck
It's
the
my
fuck
turn to
right off of
speak,
here. Then take.
bitch.
No, it isn't, bitch. You're gone. You fucking cunt. What a retard. I mean, god damn. You ought to at least look who's got the moderating power before you fuck with somebody. This asshole's been in here before. I mean, he's got to know how the game's played. That's just so fucking stupid. Ah, retard. Yeah, I mean, it's no. I don't see much point in getting that whole economic subject. I mean, we've been over it and been over it. I mean, the people just aren't ready to hear it, because people somehow think rich people deserved it. They didn't deserve to be born into it. I mean, you could tell when they were a fucking gestating zygote that they earned it. You could just see the earn on their little gestating zygote face. That yes, they were entitled to $1 million when they finally got born. I mean, they got born. I mean, it was a lot of work to get born. They deserve the money. They earned it.
building a house, and I walk by there every day. I'm gonna start doing those camera walks like you and Gary do. I mean, you and Fred do. Those are pretty cool. Anyway, I walk by there every day and chat with the construction crew, and finally, it occurred to me to ask how much this giant monster house is gonna cost. And I used to work in construction, so I've got a pretty good idea about these kind of things. And I said, so how much is it costing to build this thing? And the guy goes, take a guess. And I go, I don't know. And I'm not counting the value of the land. I said 4 million, and he goes, add a zero. And I go, no fucking way. And he goes, yeah. And I said, so who is it? I heard this guy has got a lot of sports cars, and and that's you're building this big garage for all his Maseratis and Ferraris. I go, who is it? And he goes, oh, it's a member of the Hyatt family. So anyway, yeah, I'm sure this person deserved every penny, and earned every penny of it.
Yeah, it made huge social contributions, no doubt. Uh, it's just such a sick, sad, pitiful world. But yeah, I mean, when people can't even get that part of it, like, okay, yeah, well, let your people earn their billions, but don't let people. This free ride shit is just so grotesque. I mean, they're going to get all the benefits in the world, the best schools, the best this, the best that. Yeah, let them have a million or chunk head start. People still don't think. I mean, it's just like God. We gotta let those poor rich people cheat the fuck out of us. What do we do in life if we don't have the rich to fuck with us? I mean, it's just they have no imagine. They just can't imagine life without the. What? There's not gonna be a master to own us. How will we function without the rich stealing all our fucking money and all the value of our economy? Oh, we just won't be able to get by. I mean, all their money in my pocket? Oh, that would just be awful. How would I function with their money in my pocket for working? If I got paid twice as much money? Oh no, that would just ruin my life.
Yeah, I don't know if you know who Michael Rupert is. There's a recent movie. It's all over YouTube called Collapse, about his uh, pre and post-apocalyptic economic prognostications. But anyways, there's a pretty good one if you YouTube Michael Rupert and look for some of his latest videos. He did a talk. I think it was in Connecticut or Vermont, and evidently he's got some friends out on Martha's Vineyard, which is the home of the extreme rich and famous. And he says that what's ultra wealthy are buying up these huge estates and consolidating them, and then building giant. They're walling them off. They're not brick walling them off, but just walling them off, and then they're hiring the locals to work for minimum wage to work the land. And the point he makes in all of this is that the economy is devolving from a capitalist, or maybe you'd say corporatist economy, back to a state of quasi suzerainty and manorialism. Where you have this master of the manor who's basically in charge of a bunch of serfs working the land. So going backwards, not forwards.
Oh yeah, and it'll probably get worse. I mean, because they'll start warring with each other, So it's gonna be like they'll be one of them will be called France, and one of them will be called, Yeah, we really are going backwards though. The emperors. But it is interesting just because what you would do with money, because yeah, they're all gonna be running for hard assets, and I'm thinking like places like Detroit, you can buy all of Detroit for like $75. I mean, it might be a good investment.
What's funny about Detroit is they're finally getting the money to actually tear houses. I mean, Detroit is just a unbelievable chaostrophe clusterfuck. I mean, you must have seen the videos, I'm sure. I mean, it looks worse than Beirut during the war. I mean, it just looks like it looks worse than a war zone. And you've got I don't even think drug dealers go to downtown Detroit anymore. I mean, it's in such a dangerous place to visit. But anyway, the city of Detroit's finally uh, found the money, either federal funds or state funds, to start tearing down some of these houses. So I don't know what it's going to go back to, farmland, vacant lots or something, but say goodbye to the post-industrial shithole. But now I don't know, minus the post-industrial and maybe minus the shithole, just barren
Yeah,
land.
well, I don't know if I go there just because there's certain infrastructure that's built in that you probably should keep. You got road, sewage, water. You got some infrastructure, electricity. You got all there. You know, so I,
Yeah, I saw as far as roads being infrastructure, they don't, in most parts of the country that don't have a very temperate climate, roads tend not to last very long. Places like I'm trying to remember where this was. I think it's South Dakota or North Dakota. They're finding that it costs more to maintain the roads than to run these. Actually, that's funny because you had this in one of your videos the other day. One of these like road grinders going along the road, chopping up the road and leaving nothing but crushed gravel in its place. They're doing this all across the country. They're cutting up these interstates just because they're too costly to maintain, and they're just leaving the gravel roads in their place.
yeah, I don't know how whether they're doing it all across the country yet. I haven't seen that evidence or proof yet. Um,
No, no, that was a bit of an
and yeah,
exaggeration. Sorry about that.
it's got some value to it, but the other part of it is too is that there's probably a happy medium somewhere in between. Because dirt roads, yeah, they get foul pretty easily too. Any kind of use, and they get really washed out, and that's a mess. So I think some sort of, I mean, it's these machines work pretty good. You throw some rocks in there, a little bit of oil and tar, and you got asphalt. It's not brain surgery. So part of me says, yeah, you could come up with some sort of like tar or oil finish that would be pretty good. But then the environmentalists all go nuts. I remember they used to oil a dirt road we used to use when we were kids, and you just take an oil truck, and they just with a little spray on the back, they just oil the dirt road. And an oiled road, I mean, it lasts 2 years like that, and it would be, the water would never soak in, so it would never get rutted. It would never wash out because it had that little bit of a moisture barrier, and that's all it needed. So I'm just saying. I mean, there's probably in a desperate economy happy mediums where you can still do 30 miles an hour down the road. You know what I mean? Because if you go too dirty, you're going to be killing yourself on fuel in the sense that you'd be driving.
Yeah, it doesn't take much in the way of rain or weather and road traffic to turn a dirt road into just something that's, basically undrivable past 10, 20 miles an hour. You get these little ruts and whoop-de-doos in it, and, you try to drive that along that, it'll just rattle the fucking teeth out of your mouth, not to mention what it does to your car. Yeah, I saw a lot of innovative roadway construction techniques in the Midwest, in Oklahoma and Arkansas. I saw the oiling the backwood dirt roads, and one interesting, I don't know if they're still doing it, but I saw this road had a bunch of sparkles in it, and I asked the person that I was with, I go, what is that? And they go, oh yeah, what they're doing now is they're mixing in ground up glass and ground up rubber tires with the asphalt, and so kind of creates this cool effect. You drive down the road at night and you see all this sparkly road from all the broken glass that's in it. So they're just trying to stretch this thing out, stretch out the remaining fossil fuels as far as they can on fixed budgets, which is great.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised at what they're able to tear up because tires are so tough. I would have thought it would take more energy to rip one up, than it, almost than it costs to make the damn thing. It would cost you to make a machine that could actually tear a tire up into bits, because they're just so tough. Maybe if you get it hot enough or something. I mean, maybe you can make it practical. But I mean, I've heard of that stuff, but just and maybe it's doable. I mean, they got wood chippers that work pretty efficiently. I mean, I'm surprised what they're able to do. In terms of when you think how hard wood is, you know what I mean? You just throw a log it up, and you're saying, it's a lot of energy.
Yeah, that's a good point. They got to do something though, because we's are running out of oil, folks. I mean, we've used about half of it according to best estimates, and that doesn't mean that we've got half of it to go, because to get the remaining half is going to take more and more energy. To suck that out of the ground requires more and more forms of technology. Something that we use uh, in Central California quite a bit is they'll they'll send these they'll basically dynamite the well casing. It's called frac drilling, and then they'll inject all these steam injection lines, and they'll pump a bunch of steam into the ground to loosen up it out of the ground faster. They call it huff and puff operations, and yeah, for a while it gets the oil out of the ground faster, but that basically it just depletes the field that much faster and sends it into decline. So even these advanced technologies that like Chevron and Shell are using down in Central California area, all they end up doing is getting the oil out of the ground faster. So it doesn't, there's no magic bullet. There's no liquid fuels problem, and it's going to continue to be a problem. We haven't found a replacement. I don't think it's going to be solar or wind or any kind of hydro. Although there's some big hydro projects going on now south of the North New Zealand island that have promise. So maybe, but
Well, I think
I don't know.
hydroelectric, it depends on how far out you measure. You know what I mean? If you go 5 years efficiency, 10-year efficiency, 15, 20. So the longer you go out, the better hydroelectric gets. In terms of because of the maintenance. You have the upfront cost, but you have a long durability, no and low maintenance. So that's where it really wins is in the long run. So I mean, I don't know what its number would be if you did a real fair. I mean, I think it would surpass nuclear in terms of efficiency. If you just judge in, you get in clean all the other crap. Nuclear, they don't even the real cost, but they never even clean up after the damn thing. We've never cleaned up after a nuclear power plant. So but it gets a little complicated when you go measuring 30 years of use versus 5 years or 4 years or 2 years or all that kind of crap.